Hello, hello, and welcome, my Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your twin flame contract read for May, June 2020. I am your reader, Angelo, Lyons, professional witch, professional intuitive president of Drawing the Circle Productions, and fellow Earth sign Virgo that I am. Always a pleasure reading for my Taurians and my Capricorns, because let's face it, we're the only sane ones in the zodiac. Oh, I needed that laugh. Did I ever? If you are new to my channel, please do like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I am putting out content every single day, even if it's stuff I recorded years ago that I'm editing and putting back out. Not from YouTube. I have a Vimeo channel, and I might be closing down my Vimeo channel. And just editing some stuff, pulling out some prayers and meditations and just uploading them on YouTube. I've already done that for a bunch of meditations if you want to look at the past couple of weeks of stuff that I've been doing just to help people get through this tricky time that we are in. And you get to watch it for free instead of paying for it on Vimeo. Whatever. I'm monetized. I'll deal. Cool. That being said, let's get down to business here. This is a general read. Please take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs. That's why usually these twin flame readings are much longer, 45 minutes to an hour. These I'm trying to truncate the times because upload times are ridiculous. Everybody's on the internet. Oh my God, last week or the week before was uploading a 50-minute video and it took 5 hours. I nearly went out of my earth sign mind, keeping me behind schedule. I've learned to make peace with that sense. So we're only doing 13 cards in this spread, right? So easy to check your other signs should you feel so drawn to do so. This is a twin flame contract read. A twin flame contract is a variety of soul contract, different from soulmate, but the bottom line of the contract is you and the other soul are teaching each other how to heal yourselves, teaching each other how to love yourselves, teaching each other how to respect yourselves. In other words, they're not giving you the love and the respect that you want, although maybe giving you the lesson that you need, right? So the more we can survive and learn through our twin flame contracts, the more we become the mates to our own soul, therefore better soul mates to our soulmate contracts, because if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else? Can I get an amen? Thank you, Saint RuPaul of the Drag Race. I love him. Scorpio that he is, I love him. So we're going to look at this like a contract. Party number one, party number two. Party number one we're calling the divine feminine. Party number two, the divine masculine, that has nothing to do with bodily gender. It can be two men, two women, a woman divine masculine, a man divine feminine. I myself do consider myself a divine feminine. Look what I do for a living, right? All this intuitive work. Plus I'm an empath, right? This is very divine feminine. But also keep in mind, not all twin flame contracts are romantic sexual. There's a lot of unnecessary limitations being placed on the term soulmate, twin flame. First of all, the idea that you only have one. No. No. I've had more twin flame contracts than I care to think about. And my father was one of them, right? As much as we loved each other very much, he was never going to give me the acceptance of me being a witch and being gay. It was just not. And if you didn't know I'm gay, oh, come on. Come on. You haven't been watching my channel for very long. Don't I have the accent? Whatever. So let's get up in this gig. If you focus on your breath, I will focus on my breath, keeping us in the present moment so I can really channel through, I hate that word, but it's a good word for it, channel through the clarity, guidance, and grace for you, and you will be able to, in the present moment, feel what resonates, leave what doesn't. Cool, cool? All the decks that I read are in the description box all the way at the bottom with links if you want to look into them more. We're going to start with the Caroline Myss archetype cards, and I'll call out the others as we go. Let's do this. Breathe. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. Two cards, one for the divine feminine, one for the divine masculine in this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for May, June 2020, please. One for the divine feminine, thank you, that was easy. And one for the divine masculine, please. There we go. Pretty fast. Now, before I flip these over, archetypes are neutral, right? They're not positive or negative. There's a blend of both in there. These cards show that in a shadow and a light archetype written on both cards. The shadow stuff is the stuff you don't want to admit, stuff you don't want anybody to know about even if you have admitted it, and it's what you are learning to heal in this contract or close to, right? There's a lot more content that can be written on these cards. You could write entire books for each one of these cards. But I do recommend Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Mace, the author of this deck. Shall we? Who's our divine feminine? Ooh, the Teacher archetype. I have the Teacher archetype. No planets in Capricorn, though. Member of the Wisdom family. And the second child in a row, the Sagittarian, also had a child archetype, but not the orphan child archetype. Now, I do believe that the orphan showed up in the Cancerian read as well, because I have the list in front of me. I write them down, so I'll know what to put in when I upload. And Cancer being your opposite sign, if you put all the signs in a circle, what's across from you? So there might be some crossover there if you're dealing with a Cancerian Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, or if you have that in your own chart, you might want to cross-reference there. So let me read you, because this is the Survival family, this is the Wisdom family. The shadow attribute of the Teacher. Oh, please, we know what a shadow teacher is. Manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative skills and teaching negative traits and destructive skills, manipulating or abusing students. If you haven't, eat your meat. Totally, we don't need no education vibe there. I've had some crazy teachers, spiritual as well as schoolroom teachers. Taught me how to be an amazing teacher, though. And I am an amazing teacher. I'm an autodidact, I should know. Look it up, autodidact. See, I just gave you an assignment. Homework. The light attribute. Ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Beautiful. So for a divine feminine, teacher could be a wisdom teacher. By the way, someone doesn't have to be in front of a pen board or a chalkboard to be a teacher, right? They can be an instructor. They can just teach naturally through what they do. I sort of am like that. My mother is a teacher, a nursery school teacher, but still teaches to this day, just doing what she does, right? It's just natural within her. That's an archetype for you. So a teacher and a child, this, already, this does not smack of a romantic sexual relationship. Doesn't mean it couldn't be, because everybody has the child archetype. But the orphan in particular, I know the orphan child pretty well. The shadow attribute, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Been there, done that, have the cigarette burns on the t-shirt. The light attribute, independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering a fear of surviving. Look, I could see these two needing each other at a certain point, but since twin flames are teaching contracts, and we've got the teacher here, and I have seen this theme throughout these readings this time around with twin flames, not always the case, that it feels like with everything that we're dealing with on planet Earth, and I'm not going to say what it is, because I'm not, YouTube, let's just leave that there. This is something that it makes sense, that a lot of these contracts are up. The whole world has changed. Why wouldn't we be getting all new contracts? But the question is, do you want another twin flame, or are you ready to move into soulmate, right? But, like my father was a twin flame contract, God rest his soul. We loved each other, but there was just no way we were going to give each other the love that we wanted from each other, right? So we had to go our separate ways, and then he died. Tricky. Therapy, mediums, hopeful. That being said, let's keep going. We're going to take, to clarify a little bit more if you're not exactly sure, whenever the child archetype, the victim, the saboteur, the prostitute come up, because they are survival family archetypes. Everybody has the 4 survival family archetypes. I just think it's always helpful to keep going, which I was going to anyway. I'm going to take 5 cards from the Daughters of the Moon Tarot to clarify the divine feminine, 5 cards from the Mythic Tarot to clarify the divine masculine. So let's do exactly that. Please, my Capricorns, breathe. My goddesses, please, 5 cards, the element spread for this divine feminine teacher archetype in this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for May, June 2020. Please, my goddesses, element of fire, what is it that this divine feminine teacher desires? Element of earth, what is it that this teacher has to help her get what she wants? Element of air, what is she thinking? Element of water, what is she feeling? Element of spirit. Really? Okay, they said riffle. Element of spirit, what is the voice of her soul in this soulmate contract, May, June 2020? What does she want? Well, she wants to be happy. She wants the sun, right? Amaterasu, Japanese goddess of the sun. Very, very powerful card, and as you've probably heard ad nauseum, when the sun card appears in a spread, it does tend to lighten the shadow, right? It does tend to uplift, brings more positivity, lessens the severity of some of the perhaps other harsher cards. Now, who doesn't want that? But wanting that in a twin flame context, she's going to have to make that decision to be happy, most likely. In other words, if she's waiting for the orphan child to make her that kind of happy or bring her that kind of clarity, twin flames don't usually do that. In fact, it's the opposite that drives you to find your own clarity, hence a teaching, tumultuous, often traumatic, triggery, troublesome twin flame contract. What's the element of earth here? Focus. She needs to focus her mind. Now, the Three of Blades, we often think of heartbreak. Thank you, Pamela Coleman-Smith, for that. But if you look at the Three of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck, I say this almost every time this card comes up, the heart's not broken, it's pierced. Almost as if to say, get to the heart of the matter. I think that's what she meant. She didn't write the book on it, though. Arthur Edward Waite did, right? So, getting to the heart of the matter, perhaps introspection, right, getting to the core of the situation, or really getting to root cause here. So she has the ability to do that. Maybe she already kind of has. What is she thinking? Element of air, which is good. Her earth element is an air card, and she's got an earth element in her air position. So here we've got the Ace of Pentacles. She's thinking of a new opportunity, starting fresh. So it does feel like that's why she wants her happiness, is because she's thinking of, let's do something completely new. Probably not with this orphan child, or at least having a new type of relationship. Sometimes that can really shift a twin flame contract. If it's romantic, sexual, and it doesn't go well, it's turbulent, it's tricky, and then you say, you know what, let's be friends, and you can be more friends because you don't expect that same kind of love for each other. So I'm wondering if that's a way to shift from a twin flame contract to a soulmate contract. I never thought of that before, because actually I've done that. I have a spell that I've done, changing a lover to a brother, because I'm gay. If I didn't mention it, it wasn't screamingly obvious. So will that change? Because maybe as lovers you can be twin flames, but as friends you can be soulmates. Help each other heal that way because the pressure's off. Ooh, that's probably possible. I mean, probably not for everybody, but that sounds like it's possible. Teacher archetype, thank you. What is she feeling? Well, she's feeling the card of criticism. Now, criticism, I know we immediately jump into the shadow word of it, of like being critical. Like being a critic, right? But really, this card is not so that. This is the Nine of Blades, the Nine of Swords, which if you're the Rider-Waite version of it, right? Like sleepless nights, overthinking. And maybe she is a little bit overthinking and so needs to focus, right? And again, what's the card here? Focus, but critical. Think critical care unit, think critical math, critical writing. Takes it almost to a near microscopic area of focus, and certainly to look within. She might be getting this call within, right? What's in her mind? This new opportunity. The Ace of Pentacles, a healthy acorn that could give rise to an oak tree which would shed billions of acorns in its lifetime. But emotionally, she might kind of, well, why else would she want this card of happiness if she wasn't feeling a bit tumultuous, overly focused, overthinking about her emotions? When the mind is overthinking, it's because our hearts are out of balance, right? We're frozen because our hearts aren't open. Thank you, Madonna. Oh, it's Mother's Day. What's the voice of the soul here? Yeah, let it go, let it flow. Let the water move you to and fro. The card of the Hanged Man, reversal here. A voluntary sacrifice, a voluntary surrender, a let go, see it differently, don't crack up, bend your brain, see both sides, throw off your mental chains, woo, ooh, ooh. Just Howard Jones did us. So for a teacher archetype, that can be tricky to give up what she thinks she knows about this, but I think with the preponderance of air signs here, that's what's on the menu here. I can feel she's not happy. She's probably really looking inside of herself, really, really focusing to make eventually that decision to be happy and perhaps moving in a whole different direction in her life and being willing to sacrifice sacrifice the orphan child. That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean. Give him up, let him go his own way, and just call it another lonely day. I think that calls for a sip of coffee, don't you? In the super chats, the live chats that I do on YouTube, I've been telling them every time they should make a drinking game that every time I work a song lyric into a conversation, they should take a shot because they would be blasted in like the first 30 minutes. Let's look at this divine orphan archetype, our divine orphan child, divine masculine here. The voices of the gods, element spread, please breathe. My gods, please, 5 cards in clarity, the elements spread for this divine masculine orphan archetype in this Capricorn collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for May, June 2020. Please, element of fire, what does this orphan desire, please? Element of fire, there, we'll take that one there. Element of earth, what does he have to help him get what he desires? The fuel that feeds the fire, okay? Element of air, what is he thinking in all of this? Okay. Element of water, what is he feeling? Ooh, that one was easy. And element of spirit, what is the voice of this orphan's soul talking about, looking at, dealing with? The orphan child wants strength, wants the courage, wants the fortitude to get through this. It feels like someone's being abandoned here, hence the orphan archetype here, right? Feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation. So this might be the repetition of a pattern here. This teacher wants to move on then. Whether or not this is romantic, sexual, it doesn't matter. That the contract is over. It just is. It's complete, at least for her. And all you have to do to complete a contract is survive it, right? So wants the strength, that fortitude to keep going, right? To keep living. And what does he have is the King of Cups, perhaps the emotional wisdom to do just that. You know, it's the Cancerian card. Oh, and didn't I say that that the Cancer also has the orphan? Yeah, I'm looking at the list in front of me. The Cancerian twin flame has the orphan archetype in it as well. You might really want to check this out even if you don't have the Cancerian planetary placement there. But certainly something there about has the emotional maturity to deal with this, but needs the strength to endure it, right? So if you got to feel it to heal it, this inner child work may need to be done if you are the divine masculine watching this. But if you're the divine feminine watching this, know that this is part of their curriculum that you cannot help them with. You can't do inner child work for someone. You can do it with someone, but you can't do it for someone. It's like aerobics in that way. I love Marianne Williamson said that in a talk or in a book or something, and it just cracked me up. It's like aerobics. I can do it with you, but I can't do it for you. Well, what's on his mind is the Ten of Pentacles, the happy family, right? The physical security, wanting to belong to a tribal unit. The orphan, by definition, doesn't usually fit into or has been kicked out of or lost its tribal unit. So maybe, sweetheart, I'm so sorry, but it feels like this is not your tribe. This divine feminine teacher here is not your mother, and probably not your mother, right? I mean, if this is literally a mother-child relationship, this is harsh. unless the orphan child has like a series of drug addiction issues or is, destructive. I'm not necessarily seeing that, but with this Cancerian card, hopefully has the emotional intelligence to heal and deal with this and not do himself or anyone else harm. Remember, I'm saying she and he just to keep the reading simple, but for a divine masculine to have the King of Cups in the Earth position really does speak of an emotional maturity there, or at least the potential therein, right? So what is he feeling? The Emperor. So this is somebody who has at least the potential for emotional maturation and very much may want to start his own family. So that's a nice thing, right? Wants the strength to kind of endure this, has the emotional fluidity, right? Has the emotional maturity there, but really has what it takes, the emotional chops, if you will, as the Emperor, and maybe the intuition of that, and is really thinking about starting their own family, where this divine feminine teacher maybe like, I don't want that. See, that's a classic twin flame contract, right? The passion's there. Oh, if we're putting this in a romantic sexual context, oh, that's why they're twin flames, right? They're hot, they're passionate, too hot not to cool down, but you want different things. And you really can't compromise. You can, but you'll be miserable, right? That's staying in the furnace longer than you need to be. That's living in the crucible instead of just being transformed in it. The message of the soul for him is the Tower. The soul is saying, honey, this has been struck by lightning. Change, right? Usually change from the outside, but change. Certainly we've all been through that this year, huh? Ain't we all just been struck down by a lightning bolt of truth, right? Poseidon's trident like a lightning rod, bringing down the faulty structures in our lives that we're having to kind of not just rebuild, but relook at, why were our foundations faulty? Why were the foundations cracked in the first place? Sometimes they're just old, right? Things get stale. They don't keep up, they don't grow, they don't evolve, they get struck down. Pretty clear reading. One card left. We will get you a Healing Mantra deck card from the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck, which would make sense. The Healing Mantra deck card would come from the Healing Mantra deck. Whoever you are in this, right? Whether you are the Watcher, the Cross Watcher, the Capricorn, the Divine Feminine Teacher, the Divine Masculine Orphan Child, it will help you heal yourself. That's the point of why I use these. Nice deep breath. Because now I ask the Ascended Masters, the voices of the Ascended Masters, please, one card in clarity, the perfect healing mantra for this overall Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What is the perfect healing mantra for this Divine Feminine Teacher and this Divine Masculine Orphan in this Twin Flame contract, May, June 2020? Please just pop that card right in my hands. Thank you very much, my Ascended Masters. Let's see who you get. One side of the card is the name of the mantra, the other the mantra itself. I will use the name to look it up alphabetically in the book. Exploring Unity Consciousness. We used this for a meditation that I did in a live stream 2 nights ago. I am one eternal light, appearing as all, and we chanted it so many times it was stuck in my head the whole next day. I am one eternal light, appearing as all. So there is a 5th dimensional unity consciousness mantra with all of this, which I find very, very interesting. Let me read this for you. Exploring unity consciousness, I am one eternal light, appearing as all. When unity consciousness is explored, you are able to sense a connection that unites all hearts, no matter how unique each person seems to be. Now that, I'm going to say, probably addresses that orphan child and the uniqueness of this teacher wanting to maybe go her own way. Sorry, I lost my place. Seems to be. In unity, there is a willingness to accept the differences that make each of us unique while embracing the greater cosmic web of interconnectivity throughout all time and space. In exploring unity consciousness, you are not a person in search of the light. You are the light dressed up as a person along your soul's journey. So this is definitely about, well, everything's the soul's journey, but kind of feeling this for the orphan child and the teacher specifically. This mantra is ideal for amplifying presence, grounding your energy, and deepening meditation, which would make sense for the divine feminine teacher here, and to take that journey for this orphan. To kind of get that he's exploring the unity consciousness of it all, that there is definitely some spiritual stuff here. And by the way, 3 major arcana cards, she's got 2. So definitely an influence of the soul, and a soulmate a soul contract, twin flame soulmate contract makes sense. Let me pop up the picture and see what else we see, okay? Nice deep breath. Magic clap. We've got the divine feminine teacher archetype, the shadow attribute, manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. The light attribute, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. What does she want? She wants enlightenment. She wants the happy. She wants the sun to shine. She wants the clarity and perhaps some of the freedom that comes along with all of that. What does she have to get her that is the 3 of Blades. Focus. Most likely having to focus on herself, considering she's got that critical card, the 9 of Blades in the emotional field, but also in her mental field, the element of air. She has the Ace of Pentacles, really a new opportunity being offered. Maybe she's been offered a new job opportunity and may have to leave this orphan child behind, and hence that 9 of Blades being very critical with her own emotions, focusing on how does this feel, how does this feel, how does this feel, how does it feel, but the voice of the soul saying, hey, Hanged Man here, reversal. It's going to turn your life upside down, but it's part of your destiny. It's a whole different read on this that I did not see first time around. Probability, feeling that in the field. Sometimes once all the cards come out, you see it differently. Makes sense. The divine masculine child, orphan child archetype, the shadow attribute, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. And I'm wondering if this is part of an inappropriate or surrogate family. If this teacher archetype, if not a literal mother, has played a role of parent in some way, shape, or form to this orphan child. Feels like more than mentor, though, because you usually don't feel abandoned by your mentors. And there's a mentor archetype card in here as well that would have popped up. What does he want? The strength, right? The Herculean, the Heraclean strength to endure this, the fortitude to keep going, to keep growing, to keep learning, to keep moving forward, to endure these emotions. And with the King of Cups there in his element of earth, it would make sense that there's some moodiness here, there's some ebbing and flowing of the waves like the ocean here, feeling all sorts of different ways, but with an ability here to have the emotional maturity to do it, but also wants the additional strength to live through it. That makes a lot of sense. What's on his mind is the 10 of Pentacles. Really does want that complete picture of a partner, a family, children, idle time, an idyllic time of rest, not just of prosperity and security, but of that enjoyment of the company of those you love. And that's on his mind, and yet has the Emperor there in his emotional field, that although there is always a controlling element there with the Emperor, there is this feeling that he wants to be a dad, right? Or at least wants to be a positive divine masculine influence or guiding light in a tribal unit. Feeling that pretty strongly, might even be an intuitive feeling there of what's eventually to come, just not with this teacher archetype. And the message of the soul, the spirit card, the tower, being that this is going to go down really quickly, and I mean go down like the tower being struck by lightning, things being reduced to their foundation to be rebuilt, right? So this relationship feels like it's done. Stick a trident in it, it's done, but there will be the ability, of course, to rebuild here while exploring unity consciousness. I am one eternal light appearing as all may seem like a bit of a non sequitur, might seem like cold comfort, and yet might tune both this divine feminine teacher and this divine masculine orphan child to a different point of view on this, seeing it from a larger perspective, the interplay of soul contracts and how they are not abandoned at all, right? That they are not abandoning or being abandoned because they are one eternal light appearing as all, appearing separate, but all unity consciousness. pretty interesting, Capricorn. I understand that the time we are in, if these two are sheltering, that's one of the words I'm trying to avoid, that they are sequestered in their own domains together, it might take some time. The slow and steady wins the race to kind of pull that apart and move on. But certainly if that's not the case, they might already be separated. And again, that's going to play itself out differently in the quantum field of the Capricorns. So, my Capricorn collective, may you be blessed with all that you need in your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Capricorn twin flame contracts for May, June 2020, that you may heal, that you may grow, that you may explore unity consciousness and manifest the happiness and the strength that you need to move forward in your lives for your well-being and for the well-being of all. So motivate. And so it is. Thank you for watching. Again, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed of May, June. Hang in there. Stay healthy. Love you all so much, my Capricorns. Hail. Farewell, and blessed, blessed be.